Welcome. I'm Kristen, Doctor of Physical Therapy into the Light Healing and Bodywork. This practice was designed to prayerfully approach our anxiety and move our bodies with God's Word to help calm our nervous system and ease anxiety. I plan on using a bolster at the end of practice and maybe some blocks, so you can too if you'd like. All right, I think that's about it. Let's hop on our mats. Okay, we are going to begin with a gentle spinal twist. So sitting cross-legged or on a bolster or whatever's comfortable, we're going to scoop the belly in and up, lifting the chest. Left hand goes behind, right hand goes to the knee, and then we'll turn the lower abdominals towards the left. The lower spine follows, and then the middle, and then the upper spine. Head is the last thing to turn. Taking a few deep breaths here. Keeping the chin towards the throat. Not really working on tugging or yanking. Your body should stay in the same position if you lift your hand. Anchoring each sit bone into the floor. And then on the next inhale, we're going to return to neutral. Left hand goes to the right knee, right hand goes behind, scooping the belly in and up, getting a little taller. And then we're going to start twisting from the bottom of the spine, then the middle, and then the upper. Finally, the head turns. You might notice a difference one side to the other. Taking a few deep breaths here. Trying to help the body find some ease. Sometimes the hardest thing to do when you're feeling anxious is sit still, which is why this practice should be a little bit of a challenge once we get it going. Coming back to center. And then let's tuck the left hand underneath the left thigh. Right hand comes to the top of the head. We're going to bend the right ear to the right shoulder. And then look your eyes, just your eyes, up at the ceiling. Feel that stretch through the left side of your neck. And then release that left hand, but keep your shoulder down. We're going to hug the low ribs on the right with the left hand. And then guide your rib cage over to the left in like a little bit of a shift to increase the side bending of the upper body. Eyes still up at the ceiling. All right, then use your hands to push your rib cage and your head back up to neutral. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, starting with the right hand under the thigh, left hand on the top of the head. Pull gently the left ear towards the left shoulder. Right shoulder blade going down towards the floor. Eyes look up at the ceiling. Deep breaths. If you're struggling to keep your eyes on the ceiling, know that I am too. And then let's release that right hand and touch the bottom of the left rib cage. And we're going to glide that rib cage over to the right, getting a little bit more side bending happening through the torso. Eyes still looking up at the ceiling. And then use the hands to push the head and the rib cage back to neutral position. Great. Okay, so next we're going to come onto all fours. Shoulders underneath, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to press into the fingers here, pushing the shoulder blades down the back and away from the hands. And then toes can either be tucked under or flat, your choice here. Do keep your belly engaged, scooping the belly button in and up, and the head retracted. Then, as we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone down. The low back arches up towards the ceiling. We're going to continue that motion, letting the head drop as we exhale. And then as we inhale, the opposite's going to happen. We're going to stick that tailbone up behind. The low belly drops, but keep it engaged. Shoulder blades down the back as the chest shines forward and the head comes up to neutral. And then as we exhale, reversing the motion, always starting the motion with the tailbone and ending it with the head. Continuing to flow with the breath here. And while we do, I'll just call to mind Psalms 94:19. It's a beautiful verse. It says, "When cares increase within me, your comfort gives me joy." Cares increase within me, your comfort gives me joy. All right, we're going to drop down here onto our forearms so the elbows go underneath the shoulders. Keep the forearms parallel with each other and press down into the fingers, especially into that first finger, pointer finger. Notice if this is a challenge for your shoulder blades to support this position. We're strengthening our external rotators here, the shoulders. Remember to keep the head retracted and belly scooped in and up. If you need a little bit more challenge here, we can increase the weight bearing by tucking the toes under and then lifting the knees. So that's kind of just putting more weight through those elbows and shoulders. And then we're going to push up. And then tuck the toes under, lift the knees, buns go up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to walk our feet in between our hands here. Option to place the hands on the shins or cross and hold the elbows, touch the floor. Just find a position that stretches your hamstrings comfortably. We want to increase length through the spine here as well. So whatever you can figure out to lengthen that spine as we stretch and release the hamstrings. Maybe even taking a breath, hands to the shins, and then lifting the torso halfway. And then exhaling down, letting the individual segments of the spine release. Then we'll plant our hands here, bend the knees, step the feet way back. Take a moment in a plank position here, shoulders over the wrists. It's absolutely okay to have your knees down. And we're going to go down on your knees if you haven't already, and then tops of your feet, shoulder blades down the back. And then we're going to lower the elbows alongside the rib cage, lowering the upper body. And then we'll just lift the shoulders up, shining the chest forward. Kind of like you're shortening your low back muscles. We're engaging those low back muscles and stretching through the front chest and abdominals. And then we're going to place one elbow and then the other underneath the shoulders. And once again, we're going to find our forearms to be parallel with each other, pulling the shoulder blades together and down the back, hands to the floor. You can let your lower body be relaxed if that's comfortable for you, or if you need a little muscle engagement. Press the pubic bone down into the floor, engaging the low glutes. And then we're going to turn the head over the left shoulder, remembering to pull the head back so that you're in alignment. Your head is sitting right over top of your shoulders. I'm working to get a little bit of a release for the vagus nerve here, a little bit of a stretch. Continue engaging those shoulder blades down the back, pressing down through the elbows. Breathing. Hang in there, you're doing great. Then we're going to switch and look over the right shoulder. Notice if it was easy for your neck to make that turn or not. Press down through the elbows and forearms, shoulder blades. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. Just noticing if one side's easier than the other, without judging it or being attached to it. All right, let's bring the face forward here. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, lower the chest, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, and then we're going to press up hands and knees. And then we're going to bring the right foot forward in between the hands. The left knee will stay down and the right knee will stay above the right ankle. And then we can keep our torso kind of leaning on that right thigh a little bit. And then back toes tucked under. We're going to clasp our hands behind our backs and stretch the shoulders down and away, the hands reaching away from the body, from the shoulders. And then I'd like to remind you of Isaiah 41:10. God says, "Do not fear, I am with you. Do not be anxious, I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand." Continue breathing and holding. When you're ready, release the hands. Bring the right foot back and the left forward. Getting your knee in a comfortable position, that right knee. And then kind of shifting a little bit of weight of the torso over the left thigh. Hands together behind your back. Press the hands away from your shoulders. Lengthen the spine. And keep the head retracted. Kind of tuck in that chin. Should feel a good stretch through the groin and through the front chest and shoulder. release the hands. We're going to kind of do a little half step here. So we're going to keep the left foot in front, lift the right knee, and bring it forward a little bit. So toes are kind of pointing forward, but they don't have to be exact if that's not comfortable. Nice spot to have some blocks here if you need some extra length through your arms. We're going to do straight left and right knees here. Long spine. And then if your hands are on the floor or on a block or on your ankle or shin, left hand is going to stay down. Right hand is going to rotate up and out. Challenging our balance here while stretching the muscles of the legs and engaging the spine, engaging the shoulders, stretching through the chest, and then lower down. I'm going to plant the hands on either side, step the right foot forward, left foot back. Again, about a half step. Do plant the heel, and then work on straightening that right knee. The left knee should be straight too. We're going to lengthen the spine here, reaching the crown of the head straight in front of you. And then finding some rotation here. Right hand comes to the right shin or ankle, tight tummy. When you're ready, have your balance. We're going to open the left hand out. It can be a challenge to move. Hang in there, you're doing great. All right, let's bring that left hand down. And then we're going to step the left foot up, hanging out in that forward fold for a moment. Just letting all the muscles relax and traction and stretch out and create space. And then we're going to exhale, tighten the tummy, and then you can either bend your knees here and then lift the chest up, or you can just keep your knees straight and lift the chest. Either way, we will meet in standing. We want to practice grounding those feet down for just a moment because we'll be standing on one foot. So pressing into the ball of the big toe and into the ball of the pinky toe and into the heel, let's say on the left. Shifting all your weight over there. Engaging the quads, pulling the kneecap up towards the hip. Engage the low belly, pulling it in and up. Maybe squeezing the bun on the left side. Shoulder blades go down the back. Chin is kind of tucked in towards the throat and the head is lifted. We're going to bend the right knee and bring it up, foot behind us, to stretch the quads a little bit here. You can hold on to something if you need a little support. If you don't feel much of a stretch just holding this, you can extend the hip a little bit, bring the right knee behind, lifting the right foot away from the body. I feel a pretty good stretch right here. I'm going to hang out here. Try not to let your pelvis drop on the right side. Keep integrity through those hips by pushing down through that left lower extremity, keeping a neutral pelvis. belly engaged. All right, let's go ahead and drop that one. Find our neutral here. Shifting weight onto the ball of the big toe, the ball of the pinky toe, and the heel. Strong and engaged quad here. Right bun squeezed, belly pulled in and up, chest lifted, shoulder blades down the back, head retracted. We're going to lift the left foot. Finding our good stretch here, but not letting that left hip sink. We're pressing down through the right foot to keep the pelvis level. Once again, if you need a little bit more stretch, you can extend the left knee behind the hip. Push it back, lifting the foot a little bit. But if you don't need that, don't do it. You might find that the stretch starts challenging and then your muscles release and you need a little bit more. And if that's the case, go with it. Or you can release completely. All right, let's go ahead and do that together now. We're going to come down, all the way down. So let's do a forward fold here. Stretching over our legs. And then bring the hands down and the left foot back. Your knee can go down under the hip. Let's bring the right foot towards the left hand. So we're going to kind of stretch the leg across the mat. And you want to try to get it so that it's kind of parallel with the top of the mat. And then go down on that right hip. So you're completely on the right thigh. And the right shin is parallel with the top of the mat. And then we're going to lower the body down so that the right arm, can be laying on the right shin. And then we're going to just walk that left leg back. Hands can come together to get a little extra torso stretch here, rotation. Or you can just release the arm and stretch the left hand in front of you, lowering the body closer to the leg. This is a supported piriformis stretch. And while we're here, I'll just invite you to remember the words of St. Paul in Philippians. This is chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. If you feel that little bit of release, that softening of your tissues, we're going to press up and then switch sides. So I'm just going to bring my right leg back and my left leg forward. Remembering to shift the weight onto that left hip and thigh. Bringing the left shin parallel with the top of the mat, and then lowering my torso over, shoulder and knee come together. And then stretching my hand overhead. So here's verse 7. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Once again, waiting for that release of the tissues. See if you can find just the right stretch. right, let's press up. And then we're going to swing the right leg forward. I'm doing a long sitting here. And then option to lean forward and stay forward, or kind of flow with the breath. Sometimes that helps, kind of going into a stretch and then coming out of it in order to get a little bit deeper. Might start there. So breathing in and then breathing out, keeping the toes engaged, active feet, reaching forward. And then as I breathe in, bringing the hands up along the legs. Abdominals stay engaged here. Lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to hold it here for a little bit. Engaged feet. Trying to let the head release down. Keeping length through the spine. Knees can be bent here if that's what's most comfortable. Just working towards stretching those hamstrings and the low back. Sometimes we need movement to stretch, and sometimes we need stillness. Okay, and then we're going to walk our hands up the legs and turn, keeping the right leg out straight. The left knee will bend, and we'll place the left foot kind of along that right thigh. Right toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, and then anchor those sit bones down into the floor, even weight on each side. We'll keep anchoring those down. And then we're going to glide that right hand over the right shin as we side bend, keeping the chest turned up towards the ceiling, and then stretch that left hand overhead. Tuck the chin to your throat, like you're going to kiss the top of your left shoulder. And then inhale, reaching the left arm up and out. We're going to switch legs. Engage the left toes. Turn the torso to the right, kind of. And then left hand goes along the left shin. Right hand goes overhead. Breathing through here. Stretching the side body. Stretching the hamstrings. Keeping integrity here. Don't forget to turn the head and tuck the chin. Integrity through the spine, the shoulders. The shoulders shouldn't be up at the ears, but shoulder blades going down the back. It's actually a lot of work for the neck to kind of stay tucked in like that. All right, let's reach out and up. And then we're going to do wide legs. Just whatever's comfortable. And if a bolster would be beneficial to sit on here, or a block, please grab that. It'll just kind of help the head positioning. Then we'll walk it forward. Noticing the stretch through the inner thighs. We want a moderate to strong stretch. Nothing too crazy here. Don't hurt yourself. Keeping the toes engaged, the feet active, maybe pressing them down on the gas pedal and then lifting the toes. And then we'll walk our hands over to the left. Torso stays, chest stays down, pointing down at the floor. And then right hand stretches for the outside of the left foot. Chin stays tucked towards the throat. Try to release through the hips there. Notice if you're holding tension somewhere, and if you can let that go. And then lengthen the spine. We're going to walk back through the center. Take just a breath here. And then we're going to walk over to the right. Once again, the left hand reaches for the outside of the right foot. Kind of crisscrossing there to help keep that chest rotated down and to get a nice side stretch through the left side, through the left lat here. Pull the head back so the chin is towards the throat. And then we'll go back to center, walking the hands to the middle. And then walking them back up. And then here, we're going to bring the legs together. Okay, and then we're going to lay down on our backs. And bring the heels close to the buns. Shoulder blades tucked down. Hands on the floor alongside the body. And then we're going to push down into the heels and kind of push them forward. So you're activating the quads here. We're going to lift the pelvis. Continue pushing that down and away. Option to press the head, about 50% activation. Press it backwards into the floor. And then just remind you that Jesus said in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give it to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid." And then let's lower the bridge down. And stretch out the left leg. Bring the right foot to the top of the left thigh. And then arms can go out wide. We're going to twist the right knee over to the left side. Option to turn the head if that feels comfortable for your back. And then invitation here to kind of reflect on that. What is Jesus' peace like? Do you have any experiences feeling that? Are you able to let your heart be untroubled and unafraid? And we're going to bring the right leg up. Switch sides here. Straight right leg. Left foot comes on top. And then turn the torso so the left knee goes down towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch. And then option to turn the head to the left. Take a few breaths here, just reflecting. And then we're going to bring it back up. And if you have your bolster, pillows, blocks nearby, let's go ahead and get those into position. Mine are over there. So I'm going to come up here and put my bolster right behind my low back. And have a block on either side to support my knees. We're going to bring our feet together. And then lean back over the bolster. Knees kind of resting on the blocks or just out to the sides. Tuck the chin towards the throat if your bolster is not long enough. Hands can be open at your sides. They can be feeling your breath going in and out your belly, your ribs. And then I invite you to ponder this couple of verses from 2 Corinthians. This is chapter 12, verses 9 and 10. But God said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. I will rather boast most gladly of my weaknesses, in order that the power of Christ may dwell with me. Therefore, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, constraints, for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. How can you apply this to your life? What is St. Paul trying to convey, to speak to you in this moment, in this trial of your life? And how can you find peace in Jesus? I invite you to lay here for a while longer, just enjoying this rest, this peaceful position. I'll see you next time. The light and spirit in me honors and appreciates the light and spirit in you. Let peace be with you.